Hello everyone, I'm Dijan. Welcome to my YouTube platform. Today I'm going to be starting a conversation that is about the building blocks, the R5, the 5 different R's that are leading us towards a life that is not only successful on paper, but also it feels successful in our being. It feels fully aligned. The first of the R5 is resilience. And let me tell you a little story about this. We have been on a little trip with a close friend of mine up to the waterfalls, and in Bali the weather is normally nice, and as we are riding up and up and up, it gets colder and colder, and we're on our motorbikes, it's extra chill, so yeah, not the most convenient trip. But I'm prepared because I have been frozen way too many times on that road, and my friend, despite my warnings, has a very, light shirt and a jacket on her, and she's really struggling, as I find out later. Anyway, we arrive and she's like, okay, I need to warm myself up, and so on and so forth. Next day, we go on a waterfall hike, and again, it's freezing cold. And, my attitude is like, okay, it's cold. I hate cold. I hate cold. I'm living in Bali. I really don't like cold. However, I'm like, okay, it's cold. It's a wonderful trip. The nature is amazing. Once we reach the waterfalls, it's going to be mind-blowing. We're going to have the initiation of the year. It's our New Year ceremony. Let's go on with it. And I see my friends struggling day after day after day as we go to the waterfalls, as we freeze on the ride to there, as we freeze on the hike up to there. And eventually we reach my favorite waterfall. Like, it's gigantic. It's like poof, a skyscraper tall, and the water is coming down wild, and it's basically washing away everything that I want to get rid of from the previous year. So it's the perfect moment of communion with nature. And it's not comfortable. It's cold, but still, I have my shirt off, my bikini on, dive right in. And I see my friend like, shall I go for it? Shall I not? Shall I go for it? Shall I not? Because she has been struggling with the cold for days already. Eventually, I'm like, come on, you're here. You cannot miss this. And she goes in under the waterfall. She screams her guts out. She's, enjoying every single second of it while she's under. And as we come out, we stay in silence for a while because it's such a powerful experience. You don't really want to chit-chat. And after a while, she told me, like, now I understand why you did all of those crazy, intense, really overwhelming practices that required you for, I don't know, do 9 hours of fire ceremonies on 10 consecutive days, or climb mountains and then sit for extra hours of meditation in the middle of the snow, and all these really challenging work. This was to build up that resilience in the mind. I am not going to be a victim of a story of the mind telling me it's cold, it's uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable. I'm going to go right in because I know at the end of the road there is an amazing experience. And now I understand why you did those practices. And this was a very beautiful moment for me, because this friend was also a teacher of mine, and she was sometimes questioning, why all these rituals, why all these, why are you doing this? And I was like, I don't know why. Something inside of me says, go for it. Maybe I always was fascinated by being a disciple in these martial arts movies, the Beatrice Kiddo in Kill Bill, like going through the toughest of the tough, and then coming out strong. Probably it's a big part of my temperament. But also having this resilience kept me going throughout all the difficulties in my journey. And there were difficulties. There were personal difficulties, there were external difficulties. And when I look around throughout my life, what I observed in my fellows, colleagues, environments that I worked in 20 plus years of professional and more volunteer experience, working with people all the time, what I saw lacking in the people who are complaining about not being where they want to be was resilience. And here I'm not talking about rigidity. You know, bamboo is a very resilient plant here, but it's also incredibly flexible. So there are some subtleties when we're having a conversation about resilience, and that's why I'm talking about R5, not R1. So resilience is not the only factor for a life by design, for a fulfilling life, not only on paper but also inside of us. But in my work, this is a very, very important building rock, building stone that I would like to establish with my clients. And that starts not only from the body, but actually from the mind. And it's beautiful to use the body through certain plays, which are called practices, like austere, like bullseye, really targeted practices to build up that resilience in our being. However, as I said before, this is one big ingredient, and I see that there are 4 other core ingredients that makes the conversation even more interesting in terms of this whole really heartfelt, mind-aligned, fully aligned success that we would like to cultivate in our lives. I hope you have enjoyed this conversation. More is to come on my Women Who Thrive YouTube channel. Thank you for your attention, and please don't forget to subscribe using the buttons in the corner, and also feel free to leave comments below, also your suggestions about topics that you would like me to cover.